The 800th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Sign up at Underdog Fantasy using promo code MMASGPN to get up to $1,000 in bonus credits.
Howdy-ho, Degenerinos. Welcome to episode 800 of the MMA Gambling Podcast, the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. This is at least take 3, maybe take 4. A jinxed episode, but we've made it to episode 800. Congratulations to my co-host, my better half, Daniel Gumby. I would be the ass grinder, Jeff Fox, which is still a funny name. Thank you to this. We'll dedicate this to Michael from the Discord, Michael with a bunch of L's, for congratulating us on our episode, and for everyone else who has congratulated us. But we're not just going to pat ourselves on our back here. This is an actual real episode about a real event, a good event, UFC 314, not a UFC Apex card. Now, I asked on take 2 or 3, I asked my co-host here whether the prelim portion that we're going to cover today, is this better than a UFC Apex card? And I think it is. And you think it may not.
I think it might not be, just because I can't imagine... Man, I can't imagine Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson main eventing the Apex yet.
Yan versus Jandiroba could, though. Could it not? The female fight could.
Maybe. I mean, they don't usually roll out small weight female main events unless one half of it is Mackenzie Dern or back in the day, Paige Van Zandt. If it's one of them, they'll let them main event it. But I don't know. I mean, I would like that to be an Apex 5-round main event because it seems like the winner should probably get a title shot. Does it not?
Yeah, you would think so. Yeah, for sure. Probably a silly discussion to have, especially since we've aborted so many episodes here, but we should probably just get right into our picks. But yeah, it's what I'm getting at. It's a pretty good, pretty solid prelims, a pretty solid main card. Pretty solid event. Anything surprise you when you were making your picks or checking out the odds on the prelim portion that we're going to be covering today?
A couple a little steeper than I wanted them to be.
Yeah.
One in particular, I went to go pull it up and was we'll probably get close to even money, and it was negative 350 or something. And I'm still on that side, but man, I didn't really like that number. And so there's a couple of them like that.
Yeah. Did you make any plays based just on the numbers? Just on the lines for this one or not?
I don't think so. No, I think pretty much who I would pick gun to my head are still on my picks.
Yeah, because there's at least another fight with a massive line, which maybe it's justified, maybe not, but just curious. All right, we should dive into it. But after I remind you, hello, my friends, that Augusta is right around the corner. I don't know why it says hello, friends. Is that a golf thing? I think
I don't think so, man.
We don't know.
I really don't think so.
But it wants me to say hello, friends. Augusta is right around the corner, and SGPN is back with Splash Sports for a big contest up to $30,000 in prizes and only $25 entry fee. Get in today at splashsports.com/SGPN. That's splashsports.com/SGPN, and then tune into the Golf Gambling Podcast, the Steffi Smalls Show, and Bottom Line Bombs for all your Masters picks. Or you can go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com because I'm going to have Masters picks there as well. But I am by no means a master on the Masters or golf for that matter. So UFC, though, could be argued. I'm a master at the UFC picks.
Who you got winning the Masters?
Oh, Scotty Scheffler, right?
Okay. No, Ludovic Auberg.
You think that's
I'm a big Ludovic Auberg guy. Yeah.
Okay. All right. There you go. Be anti-American. Go ahead. I'm assuming he's not American by that name. So
no, he's not. Although I think he went to college in Texas.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, he's
as America as it gets.
Yeah, he's a Swedish dude who played his college golf somewhere in the States, and as a result has a weird accent that I can't quite put a. I mean, it sounds like a Swedish guy who went to college in the United States.
That's great.
Yeah,
that is great. All right, UFC 314. Volkanovski versus Lopez is going down in the Kaseya Center if you want to go to it. Miami, Florida. I assume the tickets are ridiculously expensive, though, and you probably don't want to go to it. That would be this coming Saturday. We're covering the prelims right now, starting with the early prelims, ESPN Plus, Disney Plus, UFC Fight Pass, 6 p.m. Eastern start time. And as per usual, they have the women opening up the card. Women's bantamweights, Nora Cornolle versus Hailey Cowan. So France versus the United States of America. And let's break her down by telling you about The It Girl, aka All Hail, Hailey Cowan. 7-3, 2 knockouts, 2 submissions. She's been submitted twice, so a lot of twos there. 0-1 in the UFC, 2-1 over her last 3, but she did lose her last fight. That was way back in August of 2023. Has not won a fight since August 2022. She missed weight in her last fight as well. Not exactly the best start for the It Girl, as Dana White described her off the Contender Series. So missed weight and lost her fight. 0-1 on Contender Series. Sorry, 1-0 on Contender Series. 1-0 in Invicta. Used to fight at 125. An inch of height, 3 years younger than Cornolle. What else can I tell you about her? She has been outstruck over the 2 fights we have stats for, so the Contender Series fight and the UFC fight, by 0.2 strikes per minute. Better grappling stats than Cornolle, plus 163. Cornolle is Wonder. Do you know that she was Wonder, Gumby?
That's a new one to me, I think.
Yeah, it is. I never Wonder Nora Cornolle. You're gonna have to have her on your phone, on your show again, and find out why.
I had her on once, but I don't think that nickname was a thing yet.
No. She is 8-2, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. She's never been finished in a fight. She's 2-1 in the UFC, 8-1 over her last 9. She did lose her last fight though. She's missed weight before at 135. She's fight at 145. She's a Muay Thai champion, a medalist at various colors of medals. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes than Cowan. She's outstruck her opponents in the UFC by 1.23 strikes per minute. She's at minus 175. Go ahead, Gumby. You kick things off.
I'm gonna go with Nora Cornolle. I think basically what this boils down to for me is that you've got somebody in Cornolle who is like a really skilled striker. In fact, like both of her losses are the same person. It's both Jackie Cavalcante. Her pro debut and her last fight, right? Mm-hmm. That's an incredible striker, right? Like Jackie Cavalcante is kind of like the dark horse at bantamweight right now. And like Cornolle kind of hung with her on the feet. She looks good in her striking. She had that one big, was it a body kick TKO she won by
I think
2 fights ago?
That sounds right.
Yeah. And so like she's shown that she's got power on the feet and she's looked really good. And meanwhile, on the other side, you got Hailey Cowan, who's like, it's kind of been her only thing where she's just like stronger and more physical than everybody she's fighting. She holds you in the clinch, she tries to wear you down and stuff like that. And I can't see that working to the point where she can win a decision. She's a lot slower on the feet. And then when you take away the timing too, because she's been away for so long, right? Like, cause that's the first thing that goes is the timing. I have to imagine that that's going to make it even harder for you here. So I'm going to go with Cornolle. I actually think the line in this one's pretty nice.
Yeah, definitely it is. It was TKO, Melissa Mullins, TKO, knee to the body and head kicks. So that'll do the trick, right? I'm taking the great Cornolle as well. Cowan's layoff, not good. Didn't look good in her debut to begin with. Had the whole weight miss thing. And as Gumby said, she's all about being physically stronger than her opponent. Cornolle is very strong and sturdy herself, and it's going to be much better on the feet. So give me Wonder. I think the Great would be a better nickname, but that's okay. Wonder Cornolle is both of our picks to kick things off here. And now we're on to second fight, middleweights. Somehow they're not made in betting. Teasean Gore, Marco Tulio. Let's break it down by telling you about Mr. Vicious first. Teasean Gore, 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 3 times. He's knocked out one person, submitted 3 people, and he's been knocked out himself once. 2-2 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. Both of his past 2 wins have come via submission. Has not lost since July 2022. He went 2-0 in the Ultimate Fighter, and then lost in the final 2 Pooh Bear, right?
Yeah.
Yep, correct.
Or no, did he? No, he pulled out. He pulled out before the finale with a leg injury, and then wound up needing to take that fight with Pooh Bear later on. So Pooh Bear actually
right. Yes,
Virna in the finals. Yeah.
Yep, I forgot. All right. He's fed at 205, an inch of reach over Tulio. Better grappling stats than Tulio. It's been outstruck in the UFC by 2.88 strikes per minute, plus 300. Ouch. Tulio, Matuto. Yeah, we don't know what Matuto means, so we'll just leave it there. Someone let us know. Hit us up in our comments. Tulio, 13-1, 9 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, 1-0 in the UFC. He's won 9 straight, 3 straight via TKO. He's not lost since September 2018. He went 2-0 on Contender Series. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes than Gore. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC and the Contender Series by 2.34 strikes per minute, minus 350. Give me Tulio here. Way better striker. I haven't been impressed with Gore. I guess he's an okay grappler, but I don't think he's going to be able to do much with Tulio. Tulio's got more experience as well. Gore is one of those guys that got rushed into the UFC before he was actually prepared for the UFC, I think. So give me Tulio.
Yeah, I kind of think he's like the male version of Hailey Cowan, right? Like he's a lot of brute strength. Even that submission against Josh Fremd, right? Like he just grabbed a hold of his neck and didn't let go. And like, yeah, it worked, right? Like you put him out or, had him in the weirdest guillotine you've ever seen in your whole life. But like it wasn't technical. It wasn't sharp. It wasn't anything like that. And now he's going to be up against a guy who is precisely that, particularly with his hands. He's really precise. He pieces dudes up. He's quick. He's fast. And he's not going to fall into just like the brute strength bullshit that Teasean Gore brings. So yeah, I like Marco Tulio here. I think he's going to be the more technical striker here. And I don't know that Gore will get him down enough for it to matter.
All right. Tulio is still a bit of the unknown quantity to us though, right? Or have you watched a whole bunch of his?
I mean, I've seen a lot of him fight. I really like Tulio. He comes highly touted from anybody who's ever trained with him. I think it was Ian Gary who was talking about how it was like one of the best strikers he's ever trained with. Which is like, I don't know if that's just him blowing smoke up a training partner. But like maybe it means something, but like pretty much everything I've seen from him, like he looks like he could be a threat at middleweight, which is maybe a low bar to clear.
Yeah, it's true. But hey, that's fine. You got to fight in your weight class, and that is his weight class. All right, before we dive into some more picks, let me dive into some ad reads so we can keep the lights on here. Edge Boost, ladies and gentlemen. Ever had your deposit blocked by your bank right before a big bet? Ever need to cash at 2 a.m. for another shot at the tables, but hit your ATM limit? That never has happened to me, of course. I'll only win when I gamble. Edge Boost has your back. Edge Boost is the first ever bank account built for bettors. With Edge Boost, all your gambling-related transactions will always be approved. No more headaches. For you high rollers, you can move up to $250,000 a day on your Edge Boost Visa debit card with unlimited withdrawals. This works 24/7 for instant deposits. Never wait for a wire to clear again. Gets better. Every time you deposit into a qualified gambling account, you earn cashback reward. It's up to 0.5%. All this for no usage fees and no minimum balance. This is a bank account, not a credit card, so there is no approval required or credit checks. Finally, Edge Boost has a suite of responsible gambling tools to help you manage your bankroll and make informed decisions. What are you waiting for? Go to www.edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. That's www.edgeboost.bet. Promo code SGPN. Sign up to Edge Boost today. Do I really have to say www nowadays? All you kids know what that means, right? Right, Gumby? The kids know. Back in the olden days, we used to have to like actually read out www. MyBookie.ag. We're brought to you by MyBookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet every sport, including the Masters, plus props for every game. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. Easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Kyle Filipkowski's got about 5 games. No, actually, probably about 3 games left for you to get in on his prop play. So make sure you do that. Al Horford, his season will continue. You can still make his plays. And MyBookie will have your UFC lines. So head to MyBookie.ag, promo code MMA. SGPN, as you can see on your screen if you're on YouTube. If you do that, you get 100% deposit match up to $1,000. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMA SGPN. And back to your winning picks. We're going down to men's flyweight now. Sumudaerji versus Mitch Raposo. And let's break it down by telling you about the American first Raposo. 9-2, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. He's been submitted once. 0-1 in the UFC. He's won 4 of his last 5, but he did lose his last bout. 0-1 in Contender Series. Who did you lose to, Gumby?
Jake Hadley.
There you go. Good job. It was quite a while ago, too. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt. Get our gear at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. Try Madness is your code. They probably got rid of that code by now, but you never know. 0-1 The Ultimate Fighter. 2 years younger than Mudaerji. He's been outstruck in the UFC and Contender Series by 1.03 strikes per minute. He's at plus 150. The Tibetan Eagle. Sumudaerji is 16-7, 13 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted 6 times. So that is the way to get this man. 3-4 in the UFC. He has lost 3 straight. Before that, he won 3 straight. He's not won since January 2021. He's fed at 135. 3 inches height, 8 inches reach over Raposo. better striking stats and twice more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents by 1.63 strikes per minute. So striking is not his issue. Minus 165.
I'm going to go Mitch Raposo.
I figured you would.
I think the big thing for me is just like how bad Sumudaerji has looked in the grappling. You know, you mentioned like that's kind of the way to beat him in the first place. But also, like, if you look at his UFC career, he's never won a fight he's been taken down in. Not once. And not for anything. Like, I think people sleep on just how good Mitch Raposo is in the grappling. Like, he took Jake Hadley down twice, which is like for a guy who's just like, kicking around the edge of the UFC, like that's a pretty big feather in his cap. And then when you add into that, like, he really looked good in that fight with Lima, right? Like, he didn't look bad at all in that fight with Lima. In fact, I'm pretty sure I had Lima in the parlay and I was sweating it out because I thought Raposo could have possibly beaten him. And like, again, he took down Lima, which is, something that I think is worth noting. So I think the takedown game of Mitch Raposo is just like a little bit better than people give it credit for. He's pretty damn durable. He's hard to put away, which you could see both in his time on the Ultimate Fighter and in like his high level fights you've seen on the regional scene. He's gone up in weight, so he can handle a big punch. And like, yeah, he's going to be shorter than Sumudaerji and definitely not going to be the better striker. But I think as long as he finds the legs, I think he wears out Sumudaerji. Because the other thing is, like, Sumudaerji being that much bigger, I think it wears on him. Like, I don't think he's got the cardio to go deep into fights just because of, how damn big he is. So, yeah, I'm going to go Mitch Raposo.
I will too. Why not? Sumudaerji's not looked good for quite a while now. And like you said, there's a clear path to victory for Raposo here. And a path that has worked against Sumudaerji over basically all his this bad run that he's on right now. All, as Gumby said, every fighter, Matt Schnell, Tim Elliott, Charles Johnson, they all took him down at least once, and two of them finished him on the mat. So, you think Raposo can hang on the feet long enough to get this to the mat though with Sumudaerji?
I mean, yeah, I think so. He hung on the feet with Lima,
right.
and didn't look terrible doing that. Like, he even had his moments on the feet. So I think like, if you're able to hang on the feet with Lima, who I think is like faster and has like better kicks and stuff, like I think you won't have that much problem with Sumudaerji, who, especially when he starts getting scared of the grappling, is I think going to have a tougher time on the feet too.
All right, agreed. It is a team ride on the dog. All right, we're going to middleweights next. Sedriques. Why can't I say Sedriques? Sedriques is how you say it, and it's dumbass, right? That's his name, right?
Dumas.
Dumas versus Michał Oleksiejczuk. The Polish name I don't butcher. The American name I butchered. 3 5-minute rounds, 185. Dumas is the Reaper. 10-2, 4 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted once. 3-2 in the UFC. However, he's won 3 of 4, including his last bout. He went 1-0 in Contender Series. Used fight up at 205, down at 170. 2 inches height, 5 inches of reach over Oleksiejczuk. He has outstruck his opponents by 0.12 strikes per minute. He's at plus 170. Husser Oleksiejczuk is 19-9 with 1 no contest, 14 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once, submitted 6 times, 7-7 in the UFC. He's lost 3 straight though, and he's only won 1 of 5. He's fed at 205, failed a drug test in the past. That doesn't matter nowadays, I guess. So, regional champion, has missed weight before at 185. 2014 pro MMA debut. Better striking stats than Dumas, twice more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his points by 0.47 strikes per minute, minus 195. Give me Oleksiejczuk here. Going to be way better on the feet. I think he has a chance of knocking out Dumas too, because he really is dangerous on the feet. And he has fought way tougher competition than Dumas has. Despite being, he's going to be the smaller man here, I think he's going to be able to take it to him on the feet. And Dumas, I don't think is going to submit him. That's pretty much the way you're going to beat Oleksiejczuk. So give me Michał Oleksiejczuk here.
Yeah, I do worry about him getting subbed to the point where maybe I'm like not running out to grab my Michał Oleksiejczuk ticket. Like that's maybe something I don't want too much invested in. But like, yeah, to your point, like I think he's a much better striker. I think Dumas is silly enough to just strike with him for a prolonged period of time. I think that's the bigger piece, right? Is that like he's going to strike with him, and like we've seen Dumas get finished. It was Fremd who submitted him, and then somebody TKO'd him. And like really, if you look at his record in like what he has for wins, like none of it's impressive, right? Like he's got a that weird decision over Cody Brundage because Cody Brundage kept like pulling guard kind of inexplicably. And so like that's his best win. And outside of that, you know, like I know you said Oleksiejczuk is coming off of a slew of losses, but it's like, you know, he lost to Sharapulid and he lost to Kevin Holland, and you know, like, he lost to good dudes. So
Mike, the other one's good. Pereira, he lost it too. So he's
Michał
losses. And then Kaya Bahayo before that. So his 4 losses are all top shelf fighters. So
yeah, and that's not Dumas, all right.
No.
And like, you know, and I don't know that Dumas is good enough in his game planning that we're going to see him shoot those takedowns early like he probably should. Instead, I think he goes full Florida man, goes in there and throws with him and gets himself knocked out.
Yeah. You stole my punchline. Of course, he's not going to follow his game plan. He's a Florida man. He's just going to go pretend it's a gator and go at it. So, well, we're both in on Oleksiejczuk here. All right, we are off to featherweights now to kick off. Now we're talking about the main prelims, which are on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus. 8 p.m. start time. Kicking things off with possibly the fight of the night, right? Featherweights, Darren Elkins, Julian Erosa. You would think so. Have you noticed they have not given out fight of the night in 4 straight events? Something's up.
It's not that weird. I heard it happened
that many in a row though.
In a row. It happened 5 events in a row. Not that
really?
Okay.
Ago,
somebody pointed out. Okay. Yeah. So it's like it seems like a lot, but like it's maybe not as rare as we think it is.
Yeah, that's not going to my pocket anyhow. That money, so I don't really care. But this one should be a fun fight, regardless. Is this the one that you were surprised by the odds, Gumby?
Yep, sure was.
Yeah, there you go. same as me. All right, we'll tell you about the damage. Darren Elkins first. 29-11. The man has seen some action. 9 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out 4 times, submitted once. 19-10 in the UFC. He's won 2 straight and 3 of 4. Despite 19-10 in the UFC, despite that, he's not even the most experienced man on the prelims, Gumby.
That's great.
Someone else is coming up next.
You got Jim Miller.
All right, Elkins won 2 straight and 3 of 4. He's hasn't lost since December 2022, so he's on a nice little run you would think at the end of his career here. Regional champ. He's fought at 155, 2007 pro MMA debut. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.18 strikes per minute, and he has perhaps the best tattoo in all of MMA.
The damage.
Plus 285. All right. Juicy J, the man who shares a nickname with me, 30-11. So he's seen more action than Elkins even, which is surprising. 11 knockouts, 14 submissions. He's been knocked out 7 times. He's 8-7 in the UFC over 3 stints. Not a lot of guys get 3 kicks of the can, but he's made this last one stick a lot longer and being a lot more meaningful than his past 2 tries at the big time. He's won 2 straight. Before that, he lost 2 straight. Both of his past 2 wins have come via submission. He's not lost since April 2023. So a couple of guys old guys on runs here, which is nice to see. He's fight at 155 as well. 1-0 on Contender Series, 3-1 in the Ultimate Fighter. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt. Get her gear at sportsgamblingpockets.com/store madness is the code. 2010 pro MMA debut. 3 inch height, 3 inches reach over Elkins, 5 years younger, more active landing strikes. He's been outstruck by 0.13 strikes per minute. He's at minus 340. Like you said, this one should be a pick 'em basically, but it's not.
I don't think it should be a pick 'em, but like mentally, I had Julian Erosa at like negative 155 or negative 165. You know, like I wasn't, you know, I thought we were going to see him as a slight favorite. He was going to be in that range of people who we would typically say, oh, that's like a good pick for my lock of the week. You know, my lock of the week, you know, I don't want it to be much bigger than negative 200 because then it looks like I'm just handed out like, you know, obvious super favorites. But I was like, you know, that might be like a perfect kind of range of a guy. And then instead it's like exactly the opposite. It's blown out of proportion. And like, I do think he's better than Elkins in like a lot of ways. Like, you know, Elkins is going to shoot a bunch of naked takedowns, right? With like no strikes behind them because that's what he does. And then you're going to get front headlocks, Doris chokes, like all that kind of, I mean, like that's what Erosa is best at. He's best at grabbing Doris chokes and front headlocks off of positions like that. So like, I think that's a real nightmare for Elkins. And then on the feet, like Elkins will just take punches for fun. And like, bleed. That's no way to fight. It's no way to fight Julian Erosa either. It's like Julian Erosa is a guy who like will punish you for that, right? Like he's got a really nice uppercut, you know, he's going to work the body. I mean, like I just imagine he is going to rack up so many significant strikes against Elkins here. Like, I know I said it before, underdog fantasy play of the week here, the higher than on Julian Erosa's significant strikes. Like, if you don't want the money line on this, instead you want to go play some underdog fantasy with it, 50.5 significant strikes on Erosa, he might get that in the first round. So like, give me Julian Erosa and give me the higher than on his strikes.
I may have to steal that play for my underdog video I make. Erosa's, he's going to be the more scrambly of the two. As Gumby said, he's always grabbing for submissions if you try to take him down, which Elkins, as you said, will probably do. And he's going to piece him up the feet. And Elkins is going to probably start bleeding before the first round bell even rings to start the fight. So which always looks bad. So Erosa is a pick here. He's just not our pick at -340, but Gumby gave you a nicer play to make if you want a nicer payout. So probably go with that. All right. The most experienced man on the card, or any card for that matter, is in the next fight at lightweight, Jim Miller. He's fighting Chase Hooper. Let's break it down. Miller, A10, is 38-18 with 1 no contest, 7 knockouts, 21 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted 3 times, 27-17 with 1 no contest in the UFC. 3-1 over his last 4. He won his last fight via submission. He's fed at 170. He's got multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, get a merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. 2005 pro MMA debut. He's been outstruck in the UFC by 0.52 strikes per minute, plus 600. The dream, Chase Hooper. He's a nightmare they're feeding him all the old guys. So he's a nightmare for them. He's 15-3-1, 4 knockouts, 8 submissions. He's been knocked out once. 7-3 in the UFC. He's won 4 straight, 3 straight via submission. He's not lost since October 2022. He's fed at 145, 1 no contender series, multi-regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get the shirt, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. A BJJ champ, 1-2 in pro grappling, 5 inches height, 3 inches of reach over Miller, 16 years younger. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes, and better grappling stats than Miller. He's outstruck his opponents by 1.71 strikes per minute, -800. Did this line surprise you, Gumby?
A little bit. It didn't tempt me enough to play Jim Miller, though.
No, I was thinking you might, because you like your big lines, but no, I got to take Cooper. Bigger, younger. He excels at where Miller excels on the ground, grappling, and he's gonna be better on the feet. So Hooper's
and I think I don't know if he's gonna be better on the feet. I'm gonna caveat that one right there. No, I still think he's got a lot to go before he's adequate on the feet. And like Jim Miller is still uncorking that right hand. And he's got big power on it.
Well, yeah, old man strength is true.
But I think the distance is a big problem.
Yeah.
In that fight. And then in addition to that too, for me, it's just like Chase Hooper keeps impressing me with his wrestling. So I'm going to trust that his wrestling, controls Jim Miller enough.
We're not throwing this in any parlays though at -800, right?
I'm not. No. I think there's probably ways to play this, which maybe will show up tomorrow. But yeah, make sure you listen to tomorrow's episode.
Foreshadowing. All right, before we get to the last couple plays of this here card, let me tell you about Underdog. It is time for Gumby's bonus Underdog Pick'em of the episode. Underdog Pick'em, you can play any sport and win up to 100 times your money. As you told me in the past, I remember now, you told me you're going to play nothing but UFC this week. So it's UFC play.
Yeah, I lied. I ran out of ones I really liked on the UFC. So I'm going to take the higher than on Spencer Schwellenbach's strikeouts against the Phillies on Thursday. Schwellenbach had 10 last time out over 8 innings, looked absolutely superb. And the Phillies have got a couple of guys who fan pretty often. So let's take the higher than on Spencer Schwellenbach's strikeouts.
You got so mad at me last episode because I accidentally said baseball and you said no, and now you did baseball. So there you go. Sign up with our code MMASGPN to claim your special pick and first time deposit offer up to $1,000 in bonus credits. That's underdogfantasy.com, promo code MMASGPN. And Rhythm is your home for AI back picks and props. Rhythm is now live for Major League Baseball. Plus, they got models for NBA and golf. Picks so good it feels like cheating. Building your model is simple and easy. Check out the Kyle Filipkowski and Al Horford lines they got there. And Rhythm has some amazing deals going on right now. 25% off your monthly subscription with promo code SGPN25 and 50% off annual subscriptions with promo code SGP50. So it's RITHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. They're just giving it away there. All right, we got 2 fights left. We're starting with the women's fight, women's strawweight. Xiaonan versus Virna Jandiroba. Let's break her down, shall we? China versus Brazil. Yan, you either call her Fury or 9. Why is she 9? Have we discussed this before?
I think it's an anime thing, if I'm not mistaken.
Nerds. 19-4, with 1 no contest, 8 knockouts, 1 submission. Sorry, Jong. I know you're gonna get mad at me for saying that. She's been knocked out once, submitted once. 9-3 in the UFC, 3-1 over her last 4, 3-3 over her last 6. Did win her last fight though. Used to fight at 125, 2008 pro MMA debut, 2 inches height, 1 year of youth over Jandiroba. Better striking stats and twice more active landing strikes, as she's outstruck her opponents in the UFC by 1.55 strikes per minute, plus 125. Jandiroba Caracara, which is a type of bird, right?
That's what I remember it being.
Yeah.
I think it's some sort of bird.
She's 21-3, 1 knockout, 14 submissions. Never been finished in a fight. 7-3 in the UFC, 4-0 over her last 4, including winning her last fight via submission. Has not lost since October 2021. She went 3-0 in Invicta and was the champion in that promotion. She also is a regional champ. Used to fight at 125 as well. 2013 pro MMA debut, an inch of reach over Jan. She's been outstruck in the UFC by 0.61 strikes per minute, and she got better grappling stats than Jan, not surprisingly, minus 148.
I'm gonna go Virna Jandiroba. I debated this one because Xiaonan, like, she does have decent takedown defense, right? Like, we've seen her do all right in defending the takedowns, but we've also seen her kind of get like thrown around from time to time. And I know like Weili Zhang is like a case in and of herself, but like she did take Yan Xiaonan down 6 times, and like, Tabitha Ricci only took her down once, but like, I think we agree that like Virna Jandiroba is a better grappler than Tabitha Ricci at this stage, right? And like, if you want to go back, she got taken down a bunch by Mackenzie Dern. She got taken down by Carla Esparza. I'm looking. Claudia Gadelia got her down twice. Like Kaylin Curran, if you want to go way back, got her down twice. Angela Hill got her down. And like, not that some of those names aren't good wrestlers, and perhaps, especially in the case of Carla Esparza, definitely better wrestlers than Jandiroba. The big difference for me is that all of these women are getting her down. When Jandiroba gets you down, you don't get back up, right? Like she's so suffocating and so tough on top. And she's like one of those fighters that like, I actually think she's like a worse matchup for her than Mackenzie Dern, despite Mackenzie Dern being like clearly the better jiu-jitsu specialist. Like Jandiroba is better at just like, I'm going to hold you here. You're not getting back up now that you're down. Whereas like Mackenzie Dern is like, reaching for the arm bars and going to take the back and stuff like that. Whereas like Jandiroba gives you this much room. And then when you try to take that much room, she's using it to manipulate the next position you go. So I'm going to go Virna Jandiroba. I think the grappling is just going to be way too much.
This is another one that I've been debating. What the hell? I'll take a flyer. I
thought you were going to go. Right? I thought you were going to go Yan Xiaonan.
Yeah, I think I'll take a flyer on her. She has beaten grapplers, albeit not the complete package on the ground like Jandiroba. She's beaten Ricci and Dern recently, but
how long ago was the Dern fight? That one feels like it was longer ago.
It wasn't. It was been within her last 5 at the very least. So
yeah, but like, could it be that she's just a fighter from China and she fights once a year, and so that was
let me see. I'm gonna
2021 or some shit like that.
2022.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, it was 3.5 years ago or something.
Yeah. Jandiroba is really, really bad in the feet.
She's getting better though. She's starting to throw that like overhand that she uses to get close to you, and
she does, and then she gets close to you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a stab on her anyhow. That Jan can keep it standing long enough to win the fight, but yeah, Gumby made a very compelling case for Jandiroba here.
It make you sweat a little bit when you're making your pick.
I always get sweat when I'm talking to you, Gumby. You make me nervous. Gumby's picked all favorites. I might add.
Nope.
You have a dog? Which dog?
Mitch Raposo.
Oh right, yes. We're in on.
Come on,
I'm in on 2 dogs.
Don't do that to me.
Yeah, don't do that. Come on. Don't paint you with that brush, a chalky brush. All right, main event of the prelims is a featherweight bout. Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. Ige is 50K, our favorite nickname.
Worst nickname I've ever seen. He's had 2 better nicknames than that.
Well, Danimal. Nothing's better than Danimal, obviously, right?
No, the Danimal was an all-time one.
Instead, he's like, I'm going to beg for a bonus and say 50K.
Do you think he's gotten one since he's changed the name?
I can tell you.
Maybe just when he stepped in on super short notice.
He got one Andre Fili in 2024, February 10th, and then you got one in 2023, performance of the night. He gets one a year about. You got one in 2021, so
that's not bad. That's actually much better than I thought he would be.
One in 2019, so okay, I guess he's all right. So we're gonna know him, call him as Danimal regardless. He's 18-9, 6 knockouts, 5 submissions. He's never been finished in a fight. He should be the unfinishable Dan Ige. 10-8 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight and only won 1 of 4. He won 1-0 Contender Series. Yeah, he was on Contender Series. That Contender Series has been around way longer.
Yeah, it was year 1, I think he was on.
It's wild. 2014 Pro MMA debut. He's outstruck his UFC and Contender Series opponents by 0.16 strikes per minute. He's at plus 145. The Sniper, Sean Woodson, a app nickname for him. Apt with a T at the end of it. 13-1-1, 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. 7-1-1 in the UFC. He's won 4 straight, and he's gone 6-0-1 over his last 7. TKO win in his last bout. He's not lost since June 2020. He went 1-0 Contender Series as well. He used to fight down somehow at 155 and up at 185. He was a Golden Gloves champion. He's got 7 inches height, 7 inches reach over Ige, but that's not unusual for Woodson in fights. Better strike stats, more active landing strikes, and better grappling stats than Ige. He's outstruck his opponents by 1.46 strikes per minute. He's at minus 162. Tough matchup for Woodson, but I think he's just going to snipe him from outside. Yeah, the length is just too much, and I don't think Ige has the game to get inside and or make Woodson even sweat in this fight. Like, he's not a massive finisher, he's not a massive takedown, grind you on the ground type of guy. He's just a solid all around fighter. But I think Woodson's physical gifts are going to be the difference here. So give me Woodson.
Yeah, I actually do think his wrestling is perhaps good enough to get Woodson down once or twice. But
Can you get close enough?
Yeah, that's the big thing, right? Is that I think the footwork of Woodson, and Woodson's footwork just keeps getting better too. Like, his ability to circle away to make sure he's not close enough to be taken down has gotten exceptional. And then in addition to that too, like, he's always kind of sneakily had like really good front headlock positions. I know I mentioned that when we were talking about Julian and Erosa, but both of them, like, reach for headlock, Darce chokes, anaconda chokes, 10-figure guillotines and things like that. Like, they both have that sort of game because it like lends itself well when you're like a long rangy striker. People are shooting on you all the time and you got really long arms. Like, those are the smartest things to add to your game. And he's really like picked those up too. Now, do I think he's going to use those on Dan Ige? No, but I wouldn't be surprised if he clipped him really hard, had him wobbly, and Dan Ige shoots like an ugly looking takedown. Because he's so far away and like woozy. So yeah, I'm going to go Woodson. I think the sniping from distance is just too much.
Woodson via decision?
I don't know. I think you can knock him out.
You think so?
And I know Dan Ige hasn't been knocked out, but like, that's true until you start getting knocked out, right? And the big thing for me with Dan Ige too is he's been in wars. Like, it's not like he's not taken damage. Like, every single one of these fights recently that he's been in, like, he has taken big shots. So like, it wouldn't surprise me if Woodson got him out of there.
Yep. All right, there you go. There are your picks for the main card. Let me recap and we'll get out of here for you. We both have Woodson. I have Jan. He has Jandiroba. That's our only fight that we're different on. But I'm on the fence on that one. But I'll go dog. You know me and my dogs. Both got Hooper. Both have Juicy J Erosa. We both have Oleksiejczuk. Both have Raposo. We both have Tulio. We both have Cornolle. Boom. The snake bitten episode. We made it through it. Episode 800 in the books. Thank you for watching and or listening. You can get more of us in the Discord, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. MMA Gambling Podcast on the YouTube. Make sure you subscribe there. You can hit us up in the comments. On Twitter, X, SGPN MMA. He's at Gumby Breland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer. Same as on Instagram for me, Jeff Fox Writer. Check out my Substack. Enter my free UFC Pick'em contest for this week at moneymma.substack.com. Check out Gummy's Top Turtle MMA podcast, who is on your lovely show this week.
Juicy J, Julian Erosa, as well as Josh Reddinghouse, who is main eventing PFL this week.
So check it out. And of course, we can be found at sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store for all your merch needs, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon, so you can get some bonus content and help out the network. We shall be back tomorrow. Mr. Vicious, Jeff Fox, and all hail Gumby Breland. We'll talk to you then.